What's up, Jacob here. Today I'm going to be talking about Penn versus Shimano reels. Now I'm not going to go into like a deep dive of the specs and the mechanical side of things. This is more just personal experience using these reels, as well as some of my friends and brothers that have used these reels as well. At the end of the day, choosing what reels you like to use and which ones have worked well for you is all sort of personal experience. Plenty of people that love Penn, I know plenty of people that love Shimano. Just being completely honest right up front, I know more people that love Shimano at this point in their lifetimes of being a company. That being said, I think the best thing is just reading from a bunch of different people's opinions. So if you guys would like, down below, leave a comment talking about why you like Penn or why you like Shimano, what experience led for you to be that way. I think it could help a lot for someone that's trying to decide between the two, reading through all those different arguments to see if something pops up more for one than it does for the other, and just the experience of people using these types of reels. Now before we get started, I'm also going to say I'm talking more inshore than I am offshore, because that's more of the fishing that I do. I've used a lot of the smaller reels, not any really of the bigger ones, so this is going to be more aimed at the smaller reel size class rather than those giant offshore reels and stuff like that. So I'm just going to start real quick just with a little bit of the history of Penn and Shimano. So Penn was founded in 1932 by a man named Otto Hinz, I think is how you pronounce it, not completely sure. He moved from Germany to, I want to say, Philadelphia when he was 25 years old, worked for a reel company, and then decided, hey, I really want to start my own reel company, so he did. So Penn really started with someone in the fishing community that was working for a reel company and has been around since 1932. So it's been around for a long time. Now Shimano, the company itself, was actually founded in 1921 by Mr. Shimano himself in Japan. They moved to an office in New York City in 1965. So they've been in the USA since 1965. They've had offices here. And it wasn't until 1970 that decided, hey, we want to get into the fishing community. And the reason is, and if you guys know what Shimano is, it's like a bicycle company. They really wanted to work with public health, and they thought that fishing was something that you can get people outdoors and moving, and it would help the public health, so that's why they wanted to get into the fishing community. Now Shimano is a company that is a lot more, I want to say, like engineering, mechanical, and tech savvy than Penn, and I think that is why Shimano is probably a little more smooth and just feels a little built more like a race car than Penn. Shimano hasn't been around as long in the fishing community. I mean, Penn has 40 years of experience over them, but I think if you look at all the history of Shimano and their company, you'll see that they just have a lot more technical advances, and I think that has helped Shimano sort of take the edge over the years over Penn. Now, going away from the history, just going to do some quick reel-to-reel comparisons of Penn versus Shimano. Now, I'm going to start cheapest, not really cheapest. I'm going to start with the Penn Fierce and Battle versus the Shimano Nasci, and then go to some more expensive reels after that. So I got a bunch of specs on a piece of paper, so if I'm looking down, it's because I'm reading these. It's a lot easier than trying to memorize them all. So the new Penn Fierce is actually the same price as the Shimano Nasci. The Penn Battle is a little more expensive at $139. The Nasci is $99. The 4000 being $109. So the Penn Fierce 3000 is 11.8 ounces, has 15 pounds of drag, and holds 180 yards of 20-pound braid. Now the Penn Battle 3000 is the same exact specs, except it's 0.2 ounces lighter at 11.6 ounces. The Shimano Nasci 3000 is 3 ounces lighter at 8.5 ounces, has 5 more pounds of drag at 20 pounds of drag, and 40 less yards of braid at 140 yards of 20-pound braid. Shimano Nasci 4000 is 10.1 ounces, has 24 pounds of drag, and holds 180 yards of 30-pound braid. The Penn Battle 4000 is almost 3 ounces heavier at 12.8 ounces, still only has 15 pounds of drag, and holds 210 yards of 30-pound braid. So what you see here is the Shimano Nasci is a lot lighter, like a lot lighter. When you're talking only like 12 ounces, that's not a ton of weight, and then going all the way down to 8 ounces, that's a lot lighter. Also has more drag while sacrificing a little bit less line capacity. Now, you can say, okay, well, if I want that more line, then I'm gonna go with the Penn, but you have that extra drag, which means that maybe you don't necessarily need a little more line, because you might be able to drag that fish in a little more. Now that being said, I've actually never used a Penn Battle, so I can't speak from personal experience, but I have read some things, and I personally have just always said I don't care what company, Penn, Shimano, Daiwa, any of the other 10,000 reel companies that are out there, I think the Nasci is the best reel you can get for the money. So I'm going to give the Nasci the cake here. Now moving on to the Penn Clash versus the Shimano Stradic. The Shimano Stradic 3000 is only 7.9 ounces, has 20 pounds of drag just like the Nasci, and 140 yards of 20-pound braid just like the Nasci. The Penn Clash 3000 is 10.1 ounces, so substantially lighter than the Battle, with the same specs, 15 pounds of drag, 180 yards of 20-pound braid. The Shimano Stradic 4000 is 9.9 ounces with 24 pounds of drag and once again 180 yards of 30-pound braid. Now the Penn Clash 4000 is where things start to change a little bit. The Battle was 12.8 ounces, where the Clash 4000 is only 10.6 ounces, so substantially lighter than the reels typically are. Once again, only 15 pounds of drag with 185 yards of 30-pound braid. So honestly, when it comes to the Stradic 4000 versus the Clash 4000, spec-wise, there's really no reason to go the Clash over the Stradic because the Stradic is lighter, has more drag, like a lot more drag, and the same amount of line you can fit on it. So it's really sort of pointless to go with the Clash if you're going off specs only. Now, I will say Lawson had a Penn Clash and he actually really liked it, and so his experience was actually pretty positive with the Clash. I have loved my Stradic. My only complaint with Shimano is those line rollers do seem to go out faster than any other reel I've ever owned. That's with the Vanford and the Stradic. I'm not sure why. If you take care of your reels really good, if you take care of your reels really, I'm not completely sure why. If you take care of your reels really well, probably not as much as an issue for you. I rinse my reels down every time after using them, but I don't really maintenance them as much as I should as far as like greasing and oiling and all that stuff. So if you take care of your reels, they'll probably take care of you as well. As far as do I give it to Stradic or do I give it to Clash? Personally, I don't have an opinion one over the other. If you go on Tackle Direct, the top 3 selling reels are the Nasci, the Stradic, and the Saragosa. And shortly after that is the Penn Battle and the Penn Slammer, with the Clash not really showing up like very high on that list at all. So I think the overwhelming majority, not really overwhelming, I think the majority would be the Stradic there. But once again, personal experience, you can read down below, see what other people's opinions are to see which one you maybe want to go with. Now moving on to a little bit bigger size reel that you can use offshore, but more for big inshore fish or maybe slightly off the beach fishing and just like different fishing like that. I'm going to talk about the Penn Slammer versus the Shimano Saragosa. Now these sizings are a little bit different because the Slammer and the Saragosa sort of use different sizing charts. So the Penn Slammer 4500 is 15 ounces with 30 pounds of drag and holds 250 yards of 30-pound braid. The Shimano Saragosa 6000 is 16 ounces, 22 pounds of drag, and 290 yards of 30-pound braid. Penn Slammer 5500 is 22.2 ounces, 40 pounds of drag, and 335 yards of 40-pound braid. The Saragosa 8000, 23.8 ounces, 35 pounds of drag, 340 yards of 40-pound braid. Now, when it comes to these two reels, I think it's more of just like your personal opinion, what works for you. I think these specs don't matter as much once you're getting to those ranges. From reading online, it really seems like it's either or. I mean, there's a lot of people that love their pins, say they're just built super tough. There's a lot of people that say the Saragosa is built just as tough, if not more tough, than the Penn and is also smoother. Getting into what Penn is known for and what Shimano is known for, Penn is sort of like a hardcore workhorse truck, where Shimano is seen as more as a luxury sports car. Now, that being said, Shimano is seen as just more silky, smooth, buttery, feels better, and Penn is seen as more of built tough, gonna last you longer, just a tough reel. And when it comes to the Slammer versus the Saragosa, I think the Saragosa is just as tough as the Penn Battle, but also being smoother. So that's why I think you just see more people sort of leaning towards the Saragosa over the Penn, because Shimano and its technical advances over Penn have just shown to be a lot more smooth, silky reels that just feel a lot better when you're using them. And I think that's why overall more people prefer Shimano to Penn, because Shimano just feels a lot better than Penn typically. And I think when it comes down to it, when dealing with saltwater, things are going to go wrong with your fishing reels. So at the end of the day, some people are going to have things go wrong with their Shimano, some people are going to have things go wrong with their Penns. It's just how it is. Just where that saltwater gets, not cleaning it right, just things are going to happen to your reels. I think the type of fishing you're doing matters a little bit. If you do a lot more like live shrimp fishing inshore and just like not really casting as much with like artificial baits, I think you can maybe try the Penn instead of the Shimano because Penn obviously is a little bit heavier on those lighter reels than the Shimano. So if you're not worried about casting a lot and just like the reel being heavier and you getting tired, there's no reason for you to pick Shimano over that. I think at the end of the day, Shimano, especially in like the Nasci price range, is just a better reel. So I think that that's probably the way you should go regardless. But at the end of the day, like I said, all of this is just personal opinion. I've always liked Shimano more. I've just had more good experiences with my Shimano reels. So I think that is why I lean that, but I understand why people might lean other way because it all is just personal experience. I mean, that's everything in life. Everyone's opinions are made based off their experience. And so there's no right or wrong answer. I'm not saying I'm right in liking Shimano more. It's just personal opinion. So, but like I mentioned on Tackle Direct, the top 3 selling reels are the Nasci, Stradic, and Saragosa. So I think if I was to give you an opinion, I would say go with Shimano over Penn. That's just my personal experience and opinion. If you decide to go Penn, you're not wrong. Leave a comment below how it goes. Let me know because I'd love to hear it. I do at some point want to get a Penn reel of a more expensive variety just to feel it for sure. I have used some. My brother has a Slammer. Other brother has a Conflict. Conflict is honestly probably the worst reel I've ever personally felt. He doesn't like it either. Just said it felt rugged. So not a big fan of that. That is really all I have for this. If I didn't really cover everything, hopefully there'll be some comments down below if this video blows up and gets enough views like my Shimano vs. Daiwa one. If you're looking into Daiwa, you can go check out my Shimano vs. Daiwa video. Maybe if this video does well, I'll do a Daiwa vs. Penn video as well. So appreciate you guys, all the comments down below. Hopefully this helps you. Hopefully you can help people in the comments down below figure out what reels they want to buy. Maybe one day if I'm making a decent amount of money on this channel, I'll start to actually go out and just buy these reels and make videos actually using them. Right now definitely can't afford that, but it's something I definitely want to do, some real product non-sponsored reviews if I'm one day financially able to. I think that'd be awesome. That being said, appreciate you guys. Thanks for watching if you made it this far. There's no AC in this room. It's hot. It's hot outside. I'm gonna head out, go eat some dinner. Appreciate you. Stay tuned for the next one. Peace.